I would have had a little bit more fun in high school and like not take it so seriously, but then take it serious enough in the places that it mattered. I would have. I would have come out to more things, more extracurricular stuff that I can say like, yeah, like I was part of this student group or I went out to these events. And yeah, I would have collabed more, honestly. I know you personally and I know your work, but it's interesting to hear like how it is that you got all of those, right? Like, especially when you put me on like my first MUN event, I remember looking at the website that you made, and like how like I mean, at that time, that was a huge novelty of like, oh my goodness, the website's like moving with me. Like that was still a really new thing, right? And that kind of like became like your style. Like that's what I attributed to like Jaewu websites. Like things move around and like show and stuff, right? And the fact that that's attributed to you finding a mentor, I think is a really cool thing for myself as well. Like through school, like finding people like Mr. Maitland or Mr. Rollman, Mr. Wanzura, all these different teachers and then mentors inside of my life and stuff, and how they got me, well, Mr. Relevant and Mr. Maitland of like getting me into like business mind and thinking in that way, not just money, profit, whatever, but like a value creation and like creating something like this all is because like I took a film class, right? So I think that's interesting of like school doesn't necessarily like, it's not the classes and, you know, the grades and whatever, but it's like the people you meet while you're in school.
Yeah, 100%. That's that during like senior year of high school, there's a lot of talk and like which schools you're gonna apply to, blah blah blah, all this, and then you'll have like the guidance counselor of our school like tell you, just like apply for like SFU, just go there, or like KPU, or just apply to like local colleges, right? Yeah. Don't try to go to the States for undergrad. You'll also hear a lot of things like, bro, like going to an expensive school for undergrad is a waste of money. It's undergrad, and that's all completely valid. That's all 100% valid. But at that point, I think that type of feedback is for different groups of people. Other people, like, I think they truly are just seeking the value of other, like your peers, your possible peers. Because I don't want to get canceled, but like, you can definitely tell a difference between going to like a campus on like a very local college versus going to maybe like a more known school like UT, TMU, SFU, UBC in Canada, for example, right? You definitely can tell that there is on average, there is a bit of a difference. And I can't imagine like if you go to some place like Stanford or Harvard, like the Ivy Leagues, you will definitely have a lot of different opportunities. So like one of my friends, Lawrence, right? He goes to University of Washington. He studies CS there.
He's in Washington?
Yeah, okay. UW, and he has a lot of like opportunity. You can see that there's a lot of opportunity for him as well, and that's perfect for him because he works so hard. Like there's a reason why all the students like had to skip me because they work hard and stuff. But like that's without even saying that. There's just a difference in opportunities, difference in the people that you meet. I think that's
it really is what you make of it. Like I'm at TMU, I'm in the TRSM, Ted Rogers School of Management. Someone else is in Rotman. Like to somebody who's just like looking at those face value, they're like, oh, okay, obviously Rotman's better, more opportunities, whatever, right? But like I came into TRSM like hit the ground running, like, okay, I just need to like make the most of this. I wanted to go to Rotman, right? But it's like I'm here, this is what I have to work with, right? And like coming out to events, like taking advantage of what's being provided, right? It's like I have not the same, but I have a similar network as somebody who's inside of like that other school, right? So I think that's the same for even like really small schools. Like there are more resources than people think. And to that extent, I believe that it's hard work. But I think hard work, like you said, hard work can create luck And that luck, if you put even more hard work into like the good things that happen, like it opens you up to more and more luck, to the point where it's like you're creating opportunities, right? So yeah, I love that message that you've created.
Yeah, no, 100%. Plus, TMU is also like pretty proximal to U of T. Bro, it's like 10-minute, was it subway? And then you just like literally sit in lecture. If you have a friend there, you go to like exact same events. I'm sure there are students in like one school that are less integrated into that school's community than other people from like halfway across the country, for example. Yeah. And definitely the luck adds up in a way. Well, like getting you to a certain position gives you more opportunity. For like a popular example is like the rich get richer. Yeah, because the rich have proven that they can handle money. So who doesn't want money? They're all gonna give them money to manage their money, because they've proven that, for example, right? And I think that's with a lot of fields as well. Once you reach certain levels, you're suffering from success. Like there's too many opportunities at that point. You got to really be careful with what you choose.
Yep. Nah, that's fantastic. And the last point on like just education, if you could turn back time, if you could go back with the knowledge that you have, you could do it all over again, all the way like from like grade 8 middle school. How are you restructuring? Obviously, yes, I know most people would keep things the same, because it's like, yeah, like I made the mistakes, I learned, I whatever. I'm cool where I am now, but it's like, okay, that's all well and good. We understand. You're happy with where you are. But if you could do it smarter, what would that look like?
It's funny because I was thinking about that literally like last night. I was having trouble thinking about this last night. I would live life a bit, in terms of career-wise, a bit less tunnel vision, a bit less all in, because working on a startup is already a lot of like all in behavior, and I wish I didn't structure my entire life like that. So for example, graduating high school, I was really confident in so I'll enter like the UBC science program, and their computer science program is a second year thing. So you got to get really high grades for first year. But entering into that, like I believe like, I'm just going to get good grades and I'll get in. Like, what's the big deal, right? Let me just do that, because that'll offer me more flexibility. I can take on other courses that I may be interested in. Versus the other alternative I was thinking of at that time was applying for UBC solder business school, and then from then enter like a specific program called BUCS, like business and computer science. Basically, you're a business student, but all your electives are computer science courses. And then that leaves you with like 2 degrees, I guess. And that's a direct entry program, so you can just join in and like stay above like a certain amount, and you'll just get the degree at the end. Yeah, well, long story short, I didn't do that. And now I'm at a position, because there's some stuff that happened in first year, and like I wasn't able to get like the grades that I was expecting. And so now I'm in like a completely different program. So I just often think, what if I just like went to BUCS? What if I made the most out of it? Like my application, like I'm being modest too. Like my application to like schools, they were decent. Yeah, like I didn't get into like Stanford or anything, but they're like pretty decent. Yeah. So I think there was a good, decent chance I could have gotten into the business and computer science program there. And if I had done that, then I'd be on track to getting a business degree, comp sci degree. Versus right now, which I'm still in like sciences faculty, but I'm in like a completely different degree. Yeah. I'm still taking comp sci courses, and I like that as well, because I'm actually learning comp sci stuff. But yeah, I guess the more generalizable, like information extractable way to put it is take advantage of your lead. So that's what I took away from that. Just take advantage of it. Like if I had good grades in high school, why not enter into a somewhat competitive program that would make it easier, that at least at the worst case level, make it better for me in the ways that in potential cases that things go sideways. It's a form of luck proofing, I guess. So I could have used being smarter and placed better hedges in my life, basically. So I think that's, yeah. What about you? What would you have changed?
What would I do? I think in high school, I was very determined to create the thing that like would like allow me to just not need school. I want to make like the thing that would make me completely financial free, you know, whatever, right? And I didn't spend as much time just building up things. Like I built a few things here and there, like startup this or clothing brand that, or even like podcasting, YouTube, whatever. But I didn't spend enough time like I wish I had done Mun more, honestly. Mun was really, really cool. Like I almost got like that award like on my first year, right?
Yeah, first conference.
Yeah,
too.
like so many people, including yourself, like told me all those years, like Victor, you would be really good at Mun, and I only did it like 1 year, and then COVID hit us. Yeah. I would have had a little bit more fun in high school and like not take it so seriously, but then take it serious enough in the places that it mattered. I would have. I would have come out to more things, more extracurricular stuff that I can say like, yeah, like I was part of this student group, or I went out to these events. And yeah, I would have collabed more, honestly. Like I worked with Bevan and Phil a lot, and that was about it, right? I wish I had like talked to more people, learned more skills. I'd say like I learned only like last year, 2 years ago, to like start hedging my bets, right? Like exactly like you said, of like tunnel vision, like, yeah, you know, everything's gonna work. I'm gonna work here, then I'll work here, then I'll work here, and then I'll make this and I'll be good, right? And it's only now that like I'm realizing like, yeah, bro, like I need like a plan A, B, C, and low key a D as well, right? Pause. I can't even put that in. But yeah, I need to hedge my bets, because so often like things just don't go my way, and that's fine, right? I've only learned, like really learned now, that like it's fine when things don't go your way. But it's only fine, and you'll only have it in your mind that it's fine if you have safety net on safety net.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I wonder, in some ways it's like, I think part of maturing growing up, like, because once you become someone that has dependence, right? Say like you have like a family, or maybe you want to start taking care of like your family, like your parents, you need to be some level of stable. If one thing goes wrong, you can't have your entire life just washed away and start from the beginning. So yeah, but also part of that is like kind of realizing you're not that guy. Because there's some people, right? There's some people that will not be struck with some unpreparable hardship, right? No like external bad luck, for example, and they're hardworking and they're smart, and so they're able to literally hit all the goals that they've set out for themselves. It's in like perfect exponential graph. You graph it on Desmos, but it's like perfect, right? Yeah. And I guess whenever we make those goals, like we're not dumb. Like we know that in the back of our minds something could go wrong, or like it might not happen, but our confidence kind of overrides that. We're like, no, like I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen, right? And so you just kind of ignore that. But he's just not the guy to do that. Yeah. So
when you realize you're not immortal, and you don't have all the best ideas, and you're not going to go to the NBA, or you're not gonna be Bill Gates, you're not gonna be Mark Zuckerberg, you know, like you're just an average dude. That's when you start performing at a level it's kind of like working out, right? Like if you enter the gym and you immediately start putting plates on the bench press, like, nah, I could lift all of these. You're gonna die.
You're gonna get
You're gonna get. So you start with what? The 10, and you look puny, and everyone in the gym's like, this guy with 10s. Yeah, man. I genuinely had to start with the 10, bro. When I just got into the gym,
right.
I don't know why the bench press was so hard for me. It was probably because of like form and like understanding it and breathing and all that stuff. I had to start with tens,
Right.
and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like get that going. I was telling Phil, like, this was when I like started like last year. I was telling Phil, like, it was humiliating. I hated it, but I knew I had to start there. And then from the tens, I got the 20s. And then from the 20s, I could put 35s. And then I finally got 45, but that took me like a year, right? But like, it's not enough to be told, like, hey, you can't lift like a plate yet.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to really like try it and be like, yo, I'm weak. And then from there, you start building. It's exactly the same with business. Too many business people haven't made a business and haven't failed at one. So they still have this confidence inside of them. But then the second you make that first one or the second one or the third one, and then you're like, damn,
It's kind of hard.
I'm
Damn.
failing a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And then you start growing and learning. That's where I'm at right now, right? Like, I realize, like, I need to know some more things before I can, like, create, like, a SaaS. Or I only just recently learned what SaaS even means.
Yeah.
And now I'm inside of a program that's, like, teaching me that stuff. And,
Yeah.
like, it's taking me through the steps. Because it's like, yeah, that's where real growth comes in.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too in the stage. Like I'm just seeking out for like mentors, you know, people that I can actually learn. I also looking more into just like applying, just recruiting, like applying for like big firms so that I can get into their pipeline and be another cog in the machine. At least I'll
Start maxing out some stakeholder value.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of learning to be done.